Well, howdy, y'all, and thanks for joining me on today's episode of Good News with Trixie. I'm your hostess, Trixie. Today, we're going to explore some fun stories that will hopefully encourage your heart, strengthen your faith, and give you some gump back into your gumption. So take a seat and let's order up a dish of happiness with a dash of encouragement and sprinkled with some perspective. I grew up in Colorado, a landlocked state. So beaches, as you can imagine, were hard to find. So my daddy made my brother and me a sandbox to play in. Yes, I'm dating myself here, but I'm okay with it and proud of it. Because I came from a generation who grew up playing outside. We played outside in the grass with our toys, and we would also play outside in the grass with our friends. One of our favorite things to do was go down to the creek and catch us some crawdads. They usually didn't want to be caught. And we'd also build forts with all sorts of stuff that we would find down by the creek. I personally loved to fly kites, especially ones I made myself, and play in the park. Every summer we would have epic water balloon fights, and believe it or not, we actually drank water from the water hose, and we're still here. We would sometimes play video games too, but not all day, and we started with the good stuff, in my humble opinion, like Tetris, Mario Brothers, and my personal favorite, Pac-Man. I grew up in a time when germs built an immune system up. They didn't freak everybody out. We feared nothing and imagined that anything was possible. And part of that imagination took place in the sandbox. My mission, and I always chose to accept my personal mission, was to build the biggest sandcastle I could with my own two hands. Well, my brother's mission seemed to be to compete with me. Well, I would go to it paying no mind to my brother. And the more I ignored him, the more agitated he became. I had my blinders on, baby. I was laser focused on building my sandcastle. One day while building my sandcastle, my brother decided it would be a good idea to tear my sandcastle down. He just came in like a wrecking ball till there was nothing left. Whew, I was mad. But you know what I did? I pushed my brother out of the sandbox and started to build yet another sandcastle in its place. That agitated my brother even more and sent him crying back to Mama like a little baby. Sorry about that. Just a quick PSA moment. If you are enjoying this video, would you mind hitting that like button? It helps us with the YouTube algorithm get more good news out to more people. And if you would like to be notified about more content, please hit that subscribe button. If you hit that bell, you'll be notified every time we put a new piece out. Okay, back to our story. Have you ever had someone ruin a sandcastle that you were building in life? And I'm not talking about a literal sandcastle now. I'm talking about a figurative. It could have been a complete stranger. Or perhaps it was someone you knew, loved, and respected. Did it hurt your feelings when it happened? Well, of course it did. But what's the best action for you to take? You take control of your attitude and your activity. You see, in this unpredictable place called life, the only two things that we can really control is what I like to call the two big A's, attitude and activity. When my brother ruined my sandcastle, I could have gotten really mad and hit him. Or I could have cried like a little baby over it. But instead, I focused on rebuilding my sandcastle with a smile on my face. We all have times in our lives that are completely out of our control. And some of them are minor and others are quite major. But no matter the situation, we all have a choice to make. What will I choose my attitude to be, and what activity or action will I take? The choice is truly ours, and it's two choices that we truly have control over. So if you're faced with a sandcastle situation that's being stomped on by someone, take a moment and recognize what you are in control of, your attitude and your activity. I promise you, when you start to take control of you, your life will become much easier and a heck of a lot more fun. If you have some good news or an encouraging story or a funny story that you took a life lesson away with that you would like me to share with other people, please email me. You can use the link below. We love good news around these parts, so if you got them, let's share them. Also, if you could relate to this story, please feel free to comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Bye for now, and remember, Jesus loves you, and so do I.